we'll do two shows a lot of times, and we'll go upstairs and sing until daylight. You know, gospel songs.
Elvis Presley left behind a huge fortune that has increased in value many times over since he died in 1977. But what happened to that fortune during the life of his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley? Why did a billion-dollar fortune cause significant financial trouble for the Presley family? Discover the surprising story of the legendary family's legacy and financial ups and downs. Don't miss it. Wealth and estate setup. Elvis Presley, who changed the face of popular music worldwide, died on August 16, 1977, leaving behind a legacy that was both massive and financially complex. Although he earned hundreds of millions of dollars over a career spanning more than 2 decades, his net worth at the time of his death was estimated at $5 million, equivalent to about $25 million in today's dollars. This figure raises many questions, as it does not match the level of influence and wealth that people often mistakenly believe him to have. Throughout his life, Elvis made his money primarily through 3 major sources: royalties from his music, fees from Hollywood films in which he starred, and revenue from branded merchandise. With over 600 million records sold worldwide at the time of his death, he was one of the best-selling music artists of all time. However, unfavorable contracts, lavish spending, and unprofessional financial management quickly wiped out much of Elvis's fortune. Elvis was famous for buying Cadillacs in bulk to give to family and friends, investing in expensive real estate, and paying for a large staff at Graceland. In addition, much of his early performing and copyright contracts were controlled by Colonel Tom Parker, his controversial manager, who reportedly took up to 50% of the profits from many business deals. After Elvis's sudden death, his father, Vernon Presley, became the executor of his estate and took charge of the estate. However, Vernon was almost immediately overwhelmed with financial obligations that he could not handle. The most significant was the estate tax bill from the Internal Revenue Service, estimated at $10 million, a huge sum compared to the actual liquid assets remaining. In addition, Elvis's iconic Graceland estate became a serious liability. Covering nearly 14 acres, 13.8 acres in Memphis, Tennessee, Graceland costs an estimated $500,000 a year in maintenance, staff, security, and local taxes. Vernon Presley, who had no solid financial foundation, struggled to keep the estate from collapsing. In 1979, just 2 years after Elvis's death, Vernon died. At that time, the management of Elvis's estate was transferred to a newly created organization, the Elvis Presley Trust. The organization was co-managed by 3 people: Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife, Joseph Hanks, the Presley family's accountant, and the National Bank of Commerce in Memphis. The creation of the trust was a strategic move. Priscilla, who had divorced Elvis in 1973, played a key role in protecting and developing the legacy for their daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, who was the sole beneficiary of the estate. However, according to the will, Lisa Marie would not have direct access to the inheritance until she turned 20. During that time, Priscilla and the trustees were responsible for making decisions and developing strategies to maintain and even expand the value of Elvis's estate. At that time, the most feasible solution was to take advantage of Graceland, not only Elvis's residence, but also a deep symbol in the hearts of fans. In 1982, Priscilla Presley made a bold and risky decision: open Graceland to the public as a paid tourist attraction. The move was initially met with skepticism, but it quickly became a huge success. In its first year, Graceland attracted more than 300,000 visitors, and this number quickly increased to 600,000, 700,000 people per year at its peak. Revenue from admission tickets, souvenir shops, restaurants, and event services at Graceland began to generate a steady stream of income for Elvis Presley Enterprises, EP, the company established to exploit his franchises and intellectual property. In addition, the value of Graceland's real estate also skyrocketed. Elvis bought Graceland in 1957 for just $102,500. Today, the mansion is estimated to be worth over $100 million, not to mention the brand value it brings. Under the management of the Elvis Presley Trust and Elvis Presley Enterprises, Elvis's assets not only survived bankruptcy, but also flourished. By the early 2000s, his legacy had become one of the most valuable deceased estates in the world, second only to Michael Jackson. In 2004, Lisa Marie Presley, then 36 years old, decided to sell 85% of her shares in Elvis Presley Enterprises to CKX Inc. for about $100 million in cash and stock. She retained 15% ownership and full control of Graceland. Although the deal was criticized, it also brought in a large amount of money and helped continue to develop the Elvis empire on modern platforms. However, the story does not end there. Despite receiving millions of dollars from the sale of EPE shares, Lisa Marie Presley encountered serious financial difficulties in the last years of her life. In 2018, she claimed in legal filings that she was deeply in debt, as much as $16 million, including $10 million in back taxes. When she died in early 2023, Lisa Marie had only about $95,000 in her bank account, but still owned shares in management of Graceland. After Lisa Marie's death, her daughter, actress Riley Keough, became the official heir to Graceland and the remaining assets. Riley is currently facing multiple legal challenges, including a lawsuit to auction Graceland based on forged documents, which she and her lawyers have fought to stop. From a fortune that seemed to be firmly protected thanks to Graceland and strategic management after Elvis's death, will his daughter, Lisa Marie Presley, really inherit that prosperity? Or will new financial difficulties cause the King of Rock and Roll's legacy to continue to falter through the next generation? Inheritance and financial struggles. Lisa Marie Presley was finally able to access the inheritance that her father had left behind when she became 25 years old. This marked the beginning of a financial legacy that would serve as both a gift and a burden for her throughout her whole life. After Priscilla had managed the estate for a considerable amount of time, Lisa Marie took possession of it, and the value of the estate had significantly increased. The trust had grown into an astonishing enterprise worth $100 million, partly as a result of the smart choice to open Graceland to tourists. Lisa Marie became instantaneously rich as a result of her bequest, which also gave her authority over Elvis Presley Enterprises, EP, which was responsible for managing Graceland operations, giving merchandising rights, and collecting music royalties. The year 2004 was the year when Lisa Marie made a choice that would ultimately prove to be troublesome for her future financial situation. In exchange for around $100 million, she sold 85% of Elvis Presley Enterprises to the entertainment business CKX Inc. A significant portion of Elvis Presley's image rights, as well as the operations of Graceland and his master recordings, were included in this transaction. In addition to having complete ownership of Graceland and her father's personal belongings, Lisa Marie kept 15% of the ownership of EP. The unfortunate reality is that what appeared to be a big windfall did not convert into long-term financial security after all. According to reports, the $100 million that she was given quickly disappeared as a result of a mix of extravagant spending and dubious financial management. When Lisa Marie passed away in January 2023, her financial status had severely deteriorated by the time she passed away. It was shown in legal records that she was around $16 million in debt in 2018, even though she was getting $1.25 million yearly from her father's inheritance. Her financial difficulties were the result of a number of reasons, including unsuccessful investments, disagreements over property, and difficult and costly divorce processes. Despite the fact that she was facing enormous debts, she claimed to have a monthly income of just $100,000, according to the court records that were filed during her divorce from Michael Lockwood. The Elvis Presley Trust, which held the remaining 15% of Elvis Presley Enterprises, continued to provide Lisa Marie with financial support until the time of her dying, despite the difficulties she had been experiencing. In addition to her ongoing link to Graceland, this component of her father's bequest constituted what was left of her formerly large inheritance throughout her lifetime. After years of struggling financially and trying to protect her father's legacy, Lisa Marie Presley passed away with the estate issues still unresolved. But what happened while she was gone? Who took control of the Elvis Presley empire? And what legal battles have erupted since? The battle for control. The untimely passing of Lisa Marie Presley in January 2023 set off a complicated court dispute over who would oversee the inheritance of Elvis Presley. This conflict brought to light conflicts within the Presley family that had been mostly concealed until that point. After the demise of Lisa Marie, Priscilla Presley and her granddaughter Riley Keough found themselves in an unexpected battle with one another. The control of the remaining 15% of Elvis Presley Enterprises that was still controlled by the family was at the heart of this disagreement. Priscilla submitted legal paperwork that contested the legitimacy of the adjustments that had been made to Lisa Marie's trust. These amendments had removed her from her position as a trustee and replaced her with Riley. Consequently, this resulted in a dramatic standoff between the grandmother and the granddaughter, who were seeking to determine who would eventually govern choices about the legacy of the great singer. One of the most contentious issues in the court case was an adjustment that was made to Lisa Marie's living trust in Barry Siegel, who had previously served as Priscilla and Lisa Marie's business manager, was removed from their position as co-trustees as a result of this alteration. Riley and Benjamin Keough, who are Lisa Marie's children, took their place. By these revisions, Riley continued to serve as the only trustee when Benjamin carried out his terrible suicide in the year 2000. Priscilla, on the other hand, cast doubt on the veracity of her daughter's signature displayed on these documents and identified several technical concerns, one of which was the fact that the alteration was never notarized. In May of 2023, the legal struggle was finally resolved through the negotiation of a settlement. While Priscilla was given a one-time payout of $1 million and an additional $400,000 to cover legal bills, Riley was appointed as the sole trustee of her mother's inheritance. The most essential aspect of the settlement was that it assured that Lisa Marie's younger twin children, Harper and Finley Lockwood, would continue to benefit from the trust even though they were not appointed trustees. During the talks for the settlement, their interest needed to be taken into special account because they were minors at the time of their mother's passing. The trust that is handled by the twins' half-sister, Ryle, will now be how the twins will get their share of the inheritance. Amid legal disputes and family tensions following Lisa Marie's death, the ownership and administration of Elvis Presley's estate has become a major question mark. Will Graceland and the music empire that bears the name of the King of Rock and Roll continue to be preserved as a cultural icon, or will it fall into a spiral of instability? The future of the estate. Decade after the death of the King of Rock and Roll, Elvis Presley, in 1977, his estate has continued to generate huge revenue, maintaining its position as one of the most valuable celebrity estates on the planet. Rather than fading over time like many other celebrity properties, the massive assets associated with Elvis's name, especially Graceland, have continued to grow and reap extraordinary financial success. Once a seemingly nostalgic legacy, Elvis Presley's estate has grown steadily and steadily over the years. Today, the total estimated value of the estate ranges from $400 million. This incredible growth is not only a result of Elvis's immortality, but also a reflection of his heirs' strategic financial management skills, along with their successful use of Elvis's cultural legacy. In recent years, real estate profits have skyrocketed from $23 million in 2020 to $30 million in 2021, then unexpectedly peaked at $110 million in 2022. These figures have helped Elvis Presley continue to be on the list of the world's highest-earning dead celebrities. Graceland. a 13.8-acre estate in Memphis, Tennessee, is an icon associated with Elvis's name and at the same time, the main source of real estate revenue. With a revenue of about $10 million per year, Graceland is a pilgrimage destination for fans around the world, attracting more than 600,000 visitors per year. It is also the second most visited home in the United States after the White House and has an estimated economic impact of $150 million a year for the city of Memphis. After Elvis's only child, Lisa Marie Presley, died in January 2023, control of the estate was transferred to his granddaughter, actress Riley Keough. In August 2023, Riley became the sole trustee of the estate, taking on responsibility not only for her inheritance, but also as the financial guardian of her half-sisters, Harper and Finley Lockwood, twins who are just 15 years old. The transition has not been easy. Riley has been involved in a tense legal battle with his grandmother, Priscilla Presley, Elvis's ex-wife and former co-trustee. Ultimately, the two sides settled. Priscilla received a one-time payment of $1 million along with $400,000 to cover legal costs. With all issues resolved, Riley officially assumed full control of Elvis's estate. Riley Keough has not only taken over the legacy of a music legend, but she has also taken her new role seriously and with dedication. In a touching statement, she expressed her desire, "I hope to continue what my grandmother did and then my mother did, which is simply to preserve our family home." For Riley, Graceland is more than just a cultural relic or a money-making machine. It is sacred ground, a bond that connects 3 generations of her family, a place that holds the memories and affection of the entire Presley clan. She is particularly emphatic that preserving Graceland is for future generations, including her newborn son, Tupelo, named after Elvis's hometown in Mississippi. However, not everything has gone smoothly. In mid-2024, a company called Nasini Investments and Private Lending LLC unexpectedly filed a lawsuit in Memphis to auction Graceland, claiming that Lisa Marie Presley had failed to repay a $3.8 million loan she had secured against the estate. Fortunately, Riley Keough was quick to step in, and within days, her attorneys proved that the loan documents were forged and fraudulent. The court then permanently stayed the case, successfully protecting the historic property from foreclosure. With its 206th designation as a National Historic Landmark, Graceland is not only the Presley family's private property, but also an important part of America's collective memory. Under Riley Keough's leadership, the estate is poised to enter a new era, one in which its historic and cultural heritage is preserved alongside its modern commercial potential. What do you think makes Elvis Presley so appealing across generations? Is it his music, his lifestyle, or his life story? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We would love to hear from you. And don't forget to like the video and